Now the massive story. This is the biggest story probably of the week.
John Morris gets axed by Cronulla, and God, I feel for the bloke here.
Oh, he's gotten royally fucked in
Big
this process.
time. Like, and who really saw this cut? Like, the news was starting to break.
We're 5 weeks in, bro. Like,
Yeah. He's just been absolutely Judas here, hasn't he, by Sharks management. So he inherited that shit show from Shane Flanagan after the peptide game.
he's the lowest paid head coach in the league as well, because Cronulla's, of course, got to save money. They had all of that suspended, let's call them penalties on their salary cap.
Yeah, $350K for the last 2. I think they're back to a full salary cap this year. But the last 2 years, that's like a reasonable play. Like, you're one guy short.
Yeah.
And both years they make finals. Sure, they don't go on, but they, from where they were to even get that side into the finals is amazing. He seems to be really well liked. Like,
they love him in the club. When he came through the junior system, of course, he was coaching what was their under-20s, I think, at the time.
Yeah, Sean
So
Johnson.
some of the young blokes he's brought into the club were guys that he had coached previously, and he's been building them up.
Sean Johnson has spoken publicly about his support for Bomber Morris, and they've wielded the axe this week, and they've already signed Craig Fitzgibbon to start next year.
Yeah, well, that's the reason, essentially. They've gone, well, we're going to go out and get Craig Fitzgibbon. It looks like they'll probably get the Penrith assistant coach as well.
Cameron Serraldo, that guy.
Serraldo, yeah. So both very hot assistant coaches' jobs currently. Of course, Fitzgibbon's been with the Roosters for, I think, since he retired, essentially. He's been in there and around that club for a very, very long time. So they've got him on a 3-year deal, rumored to be about 1.5 mil. If they can get a package deal with the Penrith assistant coach, then that's like a really good coaching staff. But for whatever reason, after 5 rounds, like we've got another 20 plus to go, they've gone, done with this season.
That's got to be some kind of personality clash with some
management or something.
I think the board and GM are newish as well. They've only been there a little while.
But based on results and his starting point, like. And Cronulla's not playing that bad.
Yeah, and
they've got talent there. Of course, they're going to probably have to gut that roster because they've got a lot of aging talent on big deals.
But going forward, whatever you may have your reasons, but to do it, why would you announce this in April? To give the bloke the end of the year, or give him another 3 months at least?
Well, I think that was kind of the reasoning. Is like, hey, what if he takes this team to a top 4 and we've got Craig Fitzgibbon coming in? Like, we're not extending him. Like, I think that they were worried about him succeeding was probably the other issue. Which is not something you want to. I think it's just
he's been absolutely dudded, and hopefully he gets snapped up somewhere else. As an assistant, and
by all means, he's a good coach.
Yeah, can learn under hopefully a good coach somewhere else. Wishing him all the best. Did you see the old girl?
She had a blast.
Shazza Morris. She didn't hold any punches. Absolutely blasted.
That's what you want. You want mum coming.
Yeah, coming in. Yeah, that's right. It's always a good look. When your mum comes in, fights for you. But she was pissed off and said probably what he wouldn't. So good on her.
Well, I think he talked to Danny Wadlow. That is, of course, this evening and. Basically poured his heart out. Like he loved the club. He loves being around it. Yeah. He wasn't getting paid huge money, so there's no money involved in this. They didn't want him. They wanted to get the hot upstart being Fitzgibbon, and they've made this jump.
Absolutely dudded, I reckon. And now I suppose the looming question is what happens at the Sharks for the rest of their season. They should be there or thereabouts as a top 8 side. Is this going to hurt or hamper them?
Yeah, and we've got it later. Like Wade Graham and Dugan have both had 2 concussions in 3 weeks, so they're going to be struggling. And like Dugan, for one, is coming off contract, so he's probably done at the Sharkies if Fitzgibbon wants to rebuild that club. So there's a lot of guys there that could be moved on very quickly. It'd be interesting to see. So the assistant coach who's now becomes the interim, and that is Josh Henney.
You heard much about that bloke?
Yeah, he played for the Cowboys for ages. He's a Queenslander.
Okay.
Winger and centre. Good goal kicker.
150 games for the Cowboys.
Played a little bit for the Sharkies.
Not too old, 41.
Yeah.
You can't keep going on. Like, they do this to you. You can't keep coaching for the year. You got to step away. That's
So I think they've got Newcastle this week, and I've picked Newcastle because I
have as well, but I want to change it.
We'll get to it in a sec. Let's cover the rest of the NRL news.
Yes.
Thoughts go out to John Morris. Absolutely.